starting our press conference here today, I'd like to welcome up Akron Mayor Shammas Malik.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come on, folks. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is an important day for Akron. This is an important day for Kenmore. When I came into office, one of the things that I wanted to do as a retired ward councilman is to address persistent neighborhood issues. And the structure behind us has been a persistent neighborhood issue for the last several years. As we can see, the former Akron Baptist Temple was once a huge part of our faith community here in Akron, and is an amazing historic fixture. It has a lot of historic significance in our community. But over the last few years, it's gotten to the point where it is a significant blight on this community and this neighborhood. And so as our team came in, it became clear that this building, out of a lot of the buildings in this community, should rise up in priority. And as we try to triage buildings all across this community that need to be taken down, really have to be taken down from a safety perspective. And so I really want to thank first city staff who came together over the last few months to address this issue, to come up with a plan. We've been having these Thursday afternoon meetings, and it really has made me so proud to watch people come together and take a complex issue like this and put it together and come up with a plan. I also want to thank many of the folks behind me. The Summit County Land Bank has been instrumental in helping us secure some funding for this building to be taken down. And hopefully we are going to be able to look to state funding for the rest of the money. But I want to thank representative from the Summit County Land Bank. Thank you so much for being here, for your help. I also want to just take a moment and thank the Ohio Department of Development. Both Director Lydia Mihalik and Deputy Director Mike Frazier have also been really helpful in helping us find state demolition funds. And so what we're doing here today is an example of state government working together with local government to tackle a big neighborhood issue. I want to thank Emma Lieberth Osborne from our team, who's our policy and grant strategist. She was the one who helped connect with the Land Bank and the Department of Development and help find some of this funding to take burden off of our taxpayers. And so really shout out to her for kind of hitting a home run on this one. And then I also want to thank Continuum of Care Executive Director Marquetta Badi. And I want to thank all of the partners in the homeless prevention and homeless outreach work that we have. Michael Harhager with Homeless Community Support Services and Laren Campbell from the Homeless Charity. I also want to thank Akron Police and Akron Fire, who have really put in a lion's share of work on this. So this demolition that we are going to undertake is something that speaks to the power of collaboration and what we can accomplish when we do something together for Akron. With that, I will introduce Kenmore's own, our ward representative, who's not and hopefully will not be for a long time a retired ward council representative, Ward 9 Representative Tina Boyce.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Malik, and to your entire administration for recognizing the growing safety concerns here at this location and for making its productive use a priority for Akron and for this community. As a member of City Council, I'm also grateful for your fiscal responsibility and the hard work it took to secure outside funding to make this possible. As you know, I represent Ward 9. That's the community surrounding you. We're a community of hard-working, blue-collar folks with not a lot of funds to spare. Just as these hard-working folks are responsible for how their properties contribute to the community, it's important that we hold all property owners, even public and nonprofit entities, to the same standard. So thank you for taking this important first step to making this a positively contributing parcel once again, and I look forward to bringing vibrancy back to Ward 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. We were going to have a speaker from Summit County Land Bank. Patrick Bravo could not be with us today, so I did want to just thank Program Manager Jim Davis for being here to represent the Summit County Land Bank this morning. But speaking on behalf of the Summit County Continuum of Care, I'm happy to welcome up Executive Director Marquetta Body.
Good morning. I want to first thank Mayor Malik and his administration for inviting us here today to speak on behalf of the Continuum of Care, our community partners, and our street outreach teams who are here with us today. Homelessness has continued to increase due to the lack of affordable housing and inflated housing costs nationally, and we see the same trends here locally. Our unsheltered population has almost doubled over the last 2 years, and we want to ensure that we are prioritizing their safety and the safety of our neighbors. The COC supports the removal of structures that have been deemed inhabitable and welcomes the opportunity to connect with unhoused individuals that may frequent these spaces to redirect them to more suitable alternatives that we have put in place for our homeless community. Over the last 3 weeks, our street outreach teams have increased outreach and will continue to do so until we have met the needs of all the individuals in this area. We have made contact with some individuals who have been offered emergency shelter, access to the CSS Homeless Outreach Center, and also to the Homeless Charity Outreach House. There they can get showers, access to a meal, and also access to a case manager who will provide the needed wraparound services to help them sustain housing. We encourage the public to contact the COC first if they want to report an encampment or spaces that our unsheltered individuals are gathering in, so that we can approach the situation with a trauma-informed approach and also provide them access to the services and housing programs that we have available. If you want to contact us, our contact number is 234-312-0833. Again, that's 234-312-0833. Thank you.
We're also going to put out a press release later that will have this information. So if you're having trouble hearing, we will have this information for you in a little bit. We know that one of the biggest concerns with this structure has been safety, especially in recent years. And so I'd like to welcome up Akron Police Chief Brian Harding to speak on behalf of Akron Police.
Thank you very much. This has absolutely been a public safety issue. Our officers alone have responded over 200 times in the last year to this location for concerns from the community. We're all well aware that blighted buildings like this really have a negative impact on communities, and we're really excited that today Kimball is just going to become a little bit safer as this demolition begins. What's going on right now is inside we currently have 2 8-person teams, a police officer and a firefighter, that are working together to clear the building to make sure there's no one inside and continue to make sure it's safe. We've also had our officers out over the last week ensuring safety of the community as well. And also one more thing, actually over the last 3 years, we've been out over 500 times at this location. So I'm excited for what's going on in Kenmore today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd also like to welcome up Akron Fire Chief Joseph Nacco to talk about the fire side of things.
Well, good morning, all.
Morning.
In 1991, in this building, there was a class of 25 fire cadets that were sworn in by the mayor at that time, and I was one of those cadets. Today's a poignant reminder to me of the passing of time 33 years later on the eve of this building coming down. Over the past several years, fire's been out here over 25 times on fire-related incidents. The most recent one was on March 10th when there were some church pews that were ignited inside the building. On buildings like this, vacant buildings, we do not go in. We risk a lot to save a lot, and we risk a little to save a little. And we would not be saving anything if we were to make entry on a building like this during a building fire. So the extreme hazard of a building like this and it's coming down is just means so much to the safety forces. I'll talk just briefly about the teams that are inside. There's a team assigned to each building in this facility. That team is composed of 2 firefighters and 1 police officer. They all have safety gear such as respirators and eye protection and suits. They have what's called thermal image cameras with them, so they can see heat images if there's anybody inside. They have gas monitoring devices also to tell them if there's a hazardous breathing condition inside the building. But that's what they're doing right now. They'll be doing that for several more hours, clearing the building just prior to the start of its demolition tomorrow. So thank you. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you, Chief. As you can imagine, a project of this size requires the efforts of a lot of different city departments. And so today I'd like to welcome up Business Retention and Expansion Manager Brad Beckert.
Thank you. You know, this church has a lot of history here. It was established here back in 1934 is when the church actually started. All the way up until 2019 when the Word Church purchased the building. And soon after that, unfortunately, the building was closed, and that's when we had quite a few issues as far as break-ins and safety issues when we had the fire department and the police department. So now we're here today, hopefully to start a new chapter where we'll be able to demolish this building and continue on. The demolition of the structure will take approximately 90 days. It is actually what they call a asbestos containing structure. So unfortunately, we've had a lot of outreach from the community that actually want a piece of this structure. But unfortunately, because of the material and the way the structure is right now and the safety issues, really can't let anybody have any pieces of the material or any, you know, structural pieces right now. So unfortunately, but you know, hopefully you'll have it in your memory of what the structure used to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. And for our last speaker this morning, I'd like to welcome up Deputy Service Director Francie Lash.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilwoman Boyes. Today marks a significant milestone in our ongoing efforts to enhance the public safety of our community. The demolition of this building represents a collective commitment to the revitalization of our neighborhoods, removing blight and neighborhood deterioration, and ensuring the safety and well-being of all of our residents. I want to thank those involved in this endeavor. I want to thank all of you for your commitment. I see my team. I see my team from the Department of Neighborhood Assistance. I see Dwayne. I see Jody, Aaron. I see my colleague Chris Luddle and Jim Aiken. We have talked about this moment over a number of years, and now we're finally here. I want to thank Mayor Malik for your vision, for your leadership. I want to thank Britt Zaringer, our Chief of Staff, my team, the Special Task Force that has been meeting on Thursday, our dedicated safety forces, and city officials, and all the community members who have advocated for this change. Together we've persevered and now are seeing a moment when change will happen in this space. As we move forward, let us remain vigilant in all of our commitment to maintaining safe and vibrant communities. Today's demolition is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together with purpose and determination. Thank you all.
All right, I know I see some people shivering out there, but are there any questions from media at this time?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
The cost that you have, the money you've retained so far, how much do you have, how much do you need, the total, and how likely is it to get that money that you're seeking back from the Word Church in Orange?
You okay with me talking about this? I can talk about it, but are you okay?
I'll just say that the land bank, we're here to assist, and we do have the paperwork to get things.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that we get accurate information. So we've budgeted, I think, about $1.3 million for the demolition. I think we're hoping it will come in under that. If we need to, we will pay for this with with general obligation funds, city funds, right? This is priority. We're not waiting. We're taking this building down. With that being said, we believe that a portion of it, up to $700,000, will be covered by state funds through the Summit County Land Bank. It is our hope that state demolition money should be able to cover the rest, but we won't know, no community in the state will know until the summer. But we really, really, really can't thank enough the State Development Office and the Land Bank for being really solid partners on this. And the Land Bank's been doing this. We were just at the Foundry about a week ago. So they've been doing this in all of our neighborhoods.
What about being paid back? Is that realistic? Since they own the site, is it realistic to get the money from them? They're not the ones saying it.
Well, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not the city's lawyer. But what I can tell you, because the city's lawyer is standing right behind you, is that we are going to be as aggressive as we can in collecting.
There's a number of people asking questions online right now in regards to, I guess there's some time capsules in the facility. Are there going to be any efforts to try and retrieve those?
So as we went through this, we are not aware at all of valuables that are within the facility, right? It has been open for a number of years now, and we believe that things of value have been removed. With that being said, it is not our property right now. And so we did provide the Word Church with the opportunity to come in and remove items over the last few days. At this point, though, the demolition is happening. We've provided significant notice. And once we start the demolition, there is a concern about asbestos now being present. And so we're not going to be going in and removing things ourselves. I'm not going to put safety forces in danger in that regard or our contractors. So that's how we're approaching them.
What is the asbestos abatement process look like for this project?
That is a Brad Becker question. Mr. Becker.
Basically, the process for this building itself is we're going to demo the whole building, and as they're demoing the building, they actually keep water on the demo, on the material, and then it gets taken in trucks that are covered down to a Minerva dump site, which is an asbestos dump site. So it's all combined into one. They don't have to remove it because it's very dangerous right now to remove it in the areas that are there. So
Did I hear you say 90 days?
90 days to take it down and take it off site, correct.
Can you explain some of that date we're really taking the asbestos out right now? What causes that condition?
The condition is because of where it is. I mean, you've got 30-foot ceilings in some of this area, as well as some of the asbestos has already fallen to the ground, and once it gets pulverized, it makes it friable. So it's very hard to remove.
Anybody else?
Just one last one for the chief. Can you tell us about the nature of the kinds of things that you've responded to? What types of, is it all vandalism? Is it concerns over homelessness, fires? And I'm done.
Yeah, we've had a series of calls here. We've had issues with people in the past going in and removing things from the building. We've had some issues regarding homelessness as well, and some of them have just been proactive kind of checks from the neighbor and community calling about people in the area they knew didn't belong. So those have been the majority of the police calls that we've responded to.
The majority of our calls have been fire-related calls, small fires, nothing that had been too intense, but enough that required extinguishment by us. If you look inside the building, you would see various areas that are scorched and evident of past fires. So,
And with my prerogative, I just want to say one last thing, which is that our administration's Together for Akron Vision is about big systemic change in things like safety and education and economic development and housing. It's also about tackling persistent issues in neighborhoods, including neighborhoods where people don't often feel heard or feel seen. And this is an example of that. We are, 81 days into this administration. And this building would not be coming down if it wasn't for the efforts of Deputy Service Director Euphrancy Lash. It wouldn't be coming down if it wasn't for the efforts of Councilwoman Tina Boyes, and it wouldn't be coming down if it wasn't for dozens of people at the city of Akron and community organizations in our city. So we owe them a big debt of thanks. Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we are going to start up this machine behind me. It's going to move over here and start tearing down a portion of this garage, so you can get some B-roll of that, some photos. This is now considered an active site, so please do not start going behind the building or trying to get inside the building. It is not open to the public, so media, I would just ask you to stay in this area over here, and then once that's done, if you could exit the way you came in. Thank you so much.